There's one in every crowd. We got more than enough here tonight. Trust me. So, good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. Glad y'all are all out there, and we already have quite a few people out there. Chris Nealon, Dan Inge from Dan Inge Woodworking, Michelle Marcoux, Frenzy Wicked Truth, Russ Meadows. All of them are already out there in the chat, just a chatting away. So I appreciate Leonard Davis, Aussie Man.
JJE's out there.
Do what?
JJE's out there.
Yep, JJE. I just saw that.
Chris Nealon.
So yeah, yeah, we're here tonight, and we have Amanda, and she's from Chroma Storm Arts, and she's going to be talking to us. But before we get started, if you would be so kind and go ahead and give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. I can use all those thumbs ups. And if you'll click on the little bell up there, that'll tell you when I go live or if I upload a new video. And don't forget to subscribe. I need the subscription so you can subscribe. So let me talk about my wonderful sponsors. They are Devobel Technologies for web design, development, hosting. Visit devobel.com. FastCap, innovative products for professional woodworker. Go to fastcap.com. Rockler, 60 years in woodworking. Create with confidence. Visit rockler.com. Bearwood Supply Company, your best choice for hard-to-find woodworking supplies. Go to bearwood.com. Klingspor, the sanding specialist, woodworkingshop.com. And Seiko, the scroll saw specialist, seiko.com. And so let's go ahead and get on with this. Brenda, tell us where we can find you.
Well, first off, I think somebody's wanting in the room. So you might want to.
Where'd they go? Oh, Donald?
Hitting a button down there.
I'm already here.
There he is.
There he is.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brenda G. Brenda G's Designs. You find me most any place on the internet if you look for Brenda G's Designs. I've got a Etsy store. I've got a Facebook page. I've got a YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I mostly do comedy, but there's a lot of craft videos up there on it. I do a live stream on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time with a fella named Matt Haas that y'all may know from the woodworking community. And we have a lot of fun there on Thursday night and do giveaways and all kinds of things. So hope you'll join us at 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursday evenings on the Brenda G's Designs channel.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
You sound like me.
I can't believe that you said all that and can remember enough to say all that. That's pretty good.
No notes.
No notes. We're glad to have you back. Brenda's been having a little bout with her gout. Isn't that pretty cool?
Your poet don't know it.
Yep. So we're glad to have you back, Brenda, and I hope you're feeling better. And while I'm thinking about it, because if I don't say it right now, I'll forget it just as sure as the world, since that was brought up. But I don't know how many people that know it or not, but Steve Good's wife, Patty, she is not doing very well at all. She's in a lot of pain. She has real bad back problems like I do. And they were so severe that they ended up having to go in and do implants, put these electrodes on her spine and put a battery pack on her hip internally so that she could regulate it to control the pain. Well, the battery was supposed to be like a 10-year battery or whatever. She's only had it done for like 2 years, and it quit working. So they ended up having to go back in there and do surgery. The problem being is if it was a simple battery exchange, so to speak, it would be kind of like very easy to do. Come to find out, the electrodes actually pulled out of the battery pack for some reason. They ain't figured that one out yet. So basically, they had to go in there and redo it. And so she is not in a lot of pain. Let's put it that way. So if any of those out there that say a prayer every now and then, if you don't mind, keep her in your thoughts and prayers. But he said she's in a lot of pain. So bless her heart. I mean, that's pretty bad when they have to put electrodes in there to shock it to keep you from feeling the pain. That's pretty rough. So keep her in your thoughts and prayers. And Chris, you're next.
Yeah, what you left out there, Russ, is Brenda did that in one breath. So,
Yeah.
Kind of makes you feel sorry for the roofer she cussed out the other day.
Wow. Hey guys, Chris here from the Old Cranky Workshop. Find me on YouTube and Facebook. And you won't find me here next week. I'll be down in Key West. So I'll be down there. I'll try to check in, but I wouldn't count on it. So that's all I got.
We'll have fun in Key West. Donald.
Will do.
I'm Donald Matthews. My YouTube channel is Donald Philosophies Woodshop. I've got a website, redneckknowhow.com, and I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and TikTok, and all that fun stuff. Those links are on my YouTube channel. And I think that's about it. I couldn't do it in one breath. Must be the smoking.
Yeah. Paul.
No, I'm not going to try. Paul Carlos, Paul's Messy Workshop. You can find me on there on YouTube or on Instagram. And I'm here just to make life miserable for Russ. So that's why I spend my Saturdays here.
Yeah, he's been smart, Alec, wisecracking me all night, and he forgets to even what his name is tonight. Well, see, that goes to show you that payback's hell. See, and I didn't have to do a thing. Dixon.
Hi, I'm Dixon Hoffman. You can find me at hoffmansignsandDecals.com.
Kilroy.
Kilroy 79764 or Gilroy or something like that tonight. Well, that's when we're working in Maker Shop. I stream on Sundays, 2 p.m. on Twitch. Been building a little enterprise D. You can find me anywhere. Kilroy 79763.
And last but not least, Jason was innocent.
Yeah, Jim from Driveway Workshop. Just remember, Jason was innocent, and the chainsaws didn't kill people. The people with the chainsaw killed people. So if you're in Texas, that's how it went.
Yeah, really. All right, so we have Amanda. What's your last name?
Hogan, like Hulk Hogan.
Oh, Hulk Hogan. Okay, I got that. So Amanda, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are y'all?
We're doing good. Tell us where we can find you. If you're on Instagram or any place, tell us.
I am Amanda Hogan. My YouTube handle is Chroma Storm Arts. You can find me at Chroma Storm Arts on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I also have a Chroma Storm Arts ATC page that I run on Facebook as well. And I actually own and run an art gallery in Rockmart, Georgia, where I teach classes live in person, also called Chroma Storm Arts.
Nice.
Great. So you teach. Now, what kind of artwork do you teach?
I do the acrylic pouring classes and parties. And then I also do mixed media and art journaling as well. And I'm looking to expand my horizons to ceramics.
Ceramics are really nice.
Wow.
Really nice.
So
that's a rabbit hole.
right,
My mom went down that hole.
Yes.
Well, you said you do a lot of pourings and everything, and I didn't realize when I first saw it, I thought it was epoxy, which you said you do epoxy, but so you're using acrylic paints to do these pourings. Interesting. Can you kind of elaborate on that? Explain it.
Okay, so when you get a tube of acrylic paint, I'm sure you all, if you do woodworking and make something, you want to paint it, you felt it. It feels more like a dollop of the texture of it is like a dollop of mayonnaise, right? Well, how are you going to pour mayonnaise out of a cup? You have to dilute it. Now this is where I fell in love, because with acrylic pouring, there's a to it. Acrylic paint has a chemical makeup made up of polymers, and if you break down those polymers too much with water, the paint will not stick to your surface. So what do you use to do that? Well, you can go to the art store and you can spend an arm, a leg, a couple of toes, and you can buy what they call acrylic pouring medium, which is typically a 32-ounce bottle that looks like this, and this 32-ounce bottle costs $35.
Woo!
But if you take your hiney straight to the Home Depot, you can get a gallon of Floetrol that you cut your paint with to paint your deck for $13. And it's
Yes.
the exact same thing. It's even more light fast than what you buy at the art store.
Yeah.
So that plays a big handle in that. So you come up with your ratios, you mix it down, and you make it a nice, like, melted ice cream consistency. And then color theory comes in, and you pick your colors, and you mix them together, and you see what you get.
Now, why can't you use the acrylic paint in gallons to do the pour? Can you use that? Or
Yes,
is it too-
but like, I have used, when I first got into pouring acrylic paint, my go-to, if I wanted to get into it, see if I liked it or whatever, I would go to Home Depot and buy the Oops paint
right?
because it's essentially light, fast acrylic paint.
Yes.
But that is a little frowned on because it dries in different textures. And also, when someone purchases a painting from you, they want to know if it's made with quality supplies. So, there is no proof at the moment. Acrylic pouring is such a new fad that there's no proof that these paintings will last a certain amount of years. So we can't guarantee the light fastness unless we use something that has a light fast rating on it. So even though as woodworkers, we all know that paint is light fast because obviously it sits in the sun all day.
Right.
Your blue house maybe turns light gray after 30 years.
Yes.
You know, we know that. The art community will not recognize that until it's proven.
Ah.
So if you want to sell your pours as fine art, you have to be able to prove that you use something super expensive like Liquitex.
Ah.
But if you're just playing around with it at home, paint, it's 50 cents a thing.
Frenzy Wicked Truth wants to know that's Rockmore, Georgia, where your art studio is?
Rock Mart.
Rock Mart.
Mm-hmm.
M-A-R-T?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Rock Mart.
Mm-hmm.
Rock Mart, Georgia. She
Yes.
thought it was Rockmore.
Mm-mm. Mart's like Walmart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said you need to put your mask back on, Kilroy.
Yeah, I know that was Frenzy. I'm going to call her out.
Also, with the paint pouring, you've also, there's kind of a science to knowing how thick to make the paint, because
And that's
for different
ratio.
pours you use different techniques. Different techniques you use different consistencies, right?
Absolutely. I always try to use food references to teach my students. I like the melted ice cream because who hasn't gotten a bowl of ice cream and then stirred it up until like frosty, like consistent?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's typically what you want your paint to feel like when you're stirring your paint. But if you're going to do, say, a tree ring pour, which is just a different look altogether, and there's not really, you're not trying to achieve anything, you just want a cool look to a painting, you can make it a little thicker so the ring in your pour comes out better. And again, all of the techniques and coming up with your own ratios, because it's like using your own lathe. You get used to how it turns. But when you're mixing your paint, you get used to pouring with a certain consistency. So you have
Right.
to play with it yourself. You have to just do it.
And
that's what I tell people.
Just like with the wood, the humidity in the air at the time you're doing it plays a role in it too. So you kind of got to learn as you go along, don't you?
Mm-hmm. And it's funny that you say that because the way after we mix all of our paint and we get all of our ratios just right, we have to add an oil to the paint to create the effects in the paintings.
Sills.
I have perfected a mixture, which I can't really say out loud because it's kind of my thing. But I've actually perfected a mixture of paint to water to pouring medium where I don't have to use any oils and I can still get those effects.
Wow, pretty cool.
So
Oh man, my roommate's gonna be on you, bugging you to death.
And that's pretty good. You know, back when you mentioned the Floetrol, that was pretty interesting because I've known about that and been using it for years and years and years and years and years. My brother, my father was a carpenter. My brother got into more as how he painted houses.
Mhm.
And we used to have to, sometimes when you get certain paints, like people, they are brand name crazy. They want their house painted with Sherwin-Williams, or you know what I'm saying? Well, some of these paints, when they drag, they don't want to flow real good on a brush. So that's when we would break out the Floetrol and put it in the paint, which would make it flow so much easier. So, yes. And there's a lot of people don't even know that exists, so to speak, or don't even know about it. I will tell you this much. They make one for latex paint and they make one for oil-based paints.
So you want to get the latex because latex essentially means acrylic.
Okay. Yes, I understand. Another thing I don't know if you know about, a lot of people don't know, but you can put Floetrol on your cast iron tools in your shop and it'll prevent them from rusting. It'll dry and make a real nice hard surface. Now it takes a long time for it to dry. I think it takes 24 hours, but yeah, it'll make a nice little thing. Yeah. So just to make sure everybody knows, yeah, there's 2 Floetrols. So make sure you get the right one.
Well, with the Floetrol, also I've experimented and used it as a faux resin. I have just poured it straight out of I keep them in squeeze bottles because it's easier to manage than the gallon, but I just pour it straight out of the squeeze bottle on top of a canvas panel and just let it dry for a week. And it dries clear and it looks like fake resin.
Huh.
So Aussie Man out there is asking if you ever have any cracking problems as it dries.
Yes, and that just means that your mixture was a little too thick. You had a little bit of heavy cream versus melted ice cream. And also it has to do with the temperature in your room. If it gets too cold, your paint will crack. And
what temperature extremes? What temperature extreme?
I keep my temperatures in my studio anywhere from 68 to 75 degrees. But if you're pouring, let's say, in your garage or in your basement and it gets really cold at night, you might want to move your painting up into the house to dry.
Yeah.
Simply because, and that's actually the technical term for that is crazing. It's called crazing, and it basically creates valleys into your paint, and it's really hard to varnish.
Yeah. Most people don't. I think if you read most of your now, I know on house paints, I'm sure the acrylic paint you're using the same thing. But if you read on the back of a house paint bucket, it says you're not supposed to use an under 50 degrees of temperature. So in other words, it needs to be above 50 for you to use the paint. So yeah, that makes sense because I've had that happen before, or my brother has he's painted like oil-based enamel on door jambs and it froze that night. And the next day you come back and it looks like gator hide.
It really does.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a cool effect because I actually use that to my advantage. I will take a little bit of pigment powder on my dry brush and I'll highlight the crack, make it look like I did it on purpose, and then I'll fill it with resin.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So if you have
Aussie Man says he's never heard of Floetrol.
I'm sure they've got it over there, but it's probably a different company, different name.
Yeah. It's a lot of people don't have any clue as to what you're talking about.
I don't.
So Floetrol was originally made for people who paint houses and or decks, and it's literally to liquefy your paint a little better. And a lot of men actually use it to liquefy the paint down a little more to add to their spray machine.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it's
you
like a
can do that.
conditioner. It's like a conditioner, right?
Yeah,
Yes, it's
yeah.
paint
It just,
conditioner.
Yep.
like I said, if you've painted long enough, like I have, certain paints don't flow well. Certain brands of paints, they like when you should be able to put it in a brush and pull a nice long bead, but the paint kind of like it just like sticks. It just don't want to flow, and you can add that to it, and it'll make it flow really nice.
We're getting really grooves from your brush bristles, but you
Yes.
put paint on your brush, then that's when you would add your flow draw and get a nice smooth.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing. Yes, it allows the paint to flow more better, and then you don't see the bristle or the brush marks in your paint.
So are you using the torch just on epoxy pours? Or are you also using it to get rid of air bubbles? Or do you also use it on the paint to get rid of air bubbles or to move it around?
So I torch the paint for multiple reasons. First, I'm going to tell you about the oils that I add to the paint because it's really fun what I use for that as well. So it's a silicone oil. So after we get our paint all mixed up and we get our consistencies, we add our oil if we want cells, what they're called, the effects that come up into the paintings. And you can use multiple types of oil, but the best place if you're doing it on a budget is to go to Walmart and get a hair product called hair polisher, because what you want is a dimethicone because it is gentle, it is not toxic, and it's easy to wash your pores after it's dry. So I buy it at Walmart, and it's like $1 for a big bottle. I also use grade pure dimethicone that you can buy on Amazon that you make like makeup products with. Again, it's non-toxic. And then the last part thing you can find is treadmill oil. It will, if you put a few drops in that, it'll also give you the effects. So when you mix that your paint and then you mix it all together and put it on canvas, you torch it to pop the air bubbles that you mixed into the paint and to make that oil raise from the bottom up to the top. And as it does, it brings the other colors that are trapped underneath and they bloom into what we call cells. And that's where the magic happens with acrylic pouring and the color theory that I was telling you all about. What you put in the cup, the order you put in the cup, that's what you'll see rising. So it's just fascinating and fun, and the science behind it and the mixtures and all of that.
Speaking of the sales stuff, my roommate has a problem. She likes has a lot of people that buys their paints that want her to come back with the actual resin over the top. She has a problem sometimes that even though she's cleaned it off and basically scrubbed it as much as she could and rinsed it off to get that stuff off, that epoxy still rejects right around with the area where those. Is there anything that can make that easier?
I ran into that one too. So this is exciting because you just have to wait, have time to do it. What I do is when I let my pores dry for,
For a week?
because for a whole week. I want every single bit of that paint dry.
Okay.
And then for the next week, I take baby powder and I cover the entire thing and let it sit for a week.
What is the baby powder?
So
Soaks up the oil.
Kitty litter.
Exactly. It's kitty litter. Just like my dad and did when they were working on their cars, they put kitty litter down.
Yeah, yeah.
So the baby powder is a fine way to do that. And it soaks. It just sits there and soaks. That's all it does. And then I
So
take,
she's just not doing it long enough. She's done
right.
that.
So, and then the next step is to take Dawn dishwashing liquid because it cuts grease.
Right. And it's really good at that.
Yeah. And you put it on it, gently wash it, rinse it, and then you do it again. Dawn dishwashing liquid, gently wash, rinse, and then let it dry.
Okay.
And
because she do it and she let it like dry for 3 or 4 days. I think is the longest. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna lie. I don't pay a whole lot of attention, but you know, She gets frustrated when she tries to pour that resin on it, and she's asking me because I have worked with it before, and I don't know what's causing that, but you know, I think she's just not doing it for long enough.
Well, there's
another thing to consider as well, though, is the resin. After she washes it with the dishwashing liquid, she should probably not handle the painting so much because you have the natural oils on your hands.
That'll do it too.
But she might be depositing it back on. So after she's done washing it, sit it down, let it dry, don't mess with it, and then pour your resin.
Okay. I'll tell her that.
And there's also another thing there's a difference between, and I think she understands, Amanda understands this. There's a difference between drying and curing.
Curing.
Okay. It'll dry, but it's not cured. And that's the reason she's saying, like, sit it for like a week, because as thick as it is, it needs plenty of time to cure. Because let me tell you, if you're trying to pour that epoxy over it and it's not cured, I'm sure that there's gases still being generated inside that paint while it's trying to cure that might be coming to the surface.
Probably a little bit of moisture still trying to get out.
Yeah. So, yeah, it needs to be fully cured.
I will tell her that or have her watch this. She's supposed to be watching it now, but I hear Alias going on by her.
Well,
thank you, ma'am.
Pretty cool. We had some stuff. I had some family stuff happen this week, so I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch a lot of her videos. I was looking at some of them earlier, but this is pretty interesting. I'm going to definitely have to go to your channel and start watching.
If you ever watch them, I can't get into it because my roommate I'm the artist, you're the woodworker. Don't cross over into my field. Okay.
Stay in your own lane.
Combination too.
Somebody said something on here about you did a pair of tennis shoes.
Yes, I did a series called No Canvas, No Problem, and I did a pair of tennis shoes, and that was, believe it or not, that was my second highest grossing video, where I had I think it was close to 1,000.2 million views, something. It was crazy. It blew up. And it took a very long time for me to figure it out. But the funny thing about it was I was ready to wear these tennis shoes, right? I'm like, this is my thing. I'm going to wear these tennis shoes. And I looked, and one in a size 8 and one in a size 7.
Oh no. Oh no.
So that I couldn't wear them, but they're actually now on my patio. I've got little planters with plants growing out of them, and they look so cute. But they were Chuck Taylor tennis shoes, so that was funny.
Oh wow, you did that 4 years ago.
Yeah. And I did in that series I did a pumpkin, I did a cow skull, or no, a deer skull. I have a cow skull to do, but I'm still kind of putting it off because it's kind of big.
Do you mind if I show some of that video?
I don't mind at all.
Okay, I'm going to go to the. I'm not going to. We don't have enough time, obviously, to watch the whole thing, but in the same aspect,
They're saying that Amanda is also an inventor and a magician out there, and that's truly what we're about to see right now.
All right. It should be sharing. Can y'all see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So this is she's got all the paint mixed and everything, and now she's fixing to I guess apply it to the tennis shoes.
So those aren't Air Jordans, right?
No, they're not.
No, they're just red Chucks, and I just wanted to do it.
Regular old Converse.
Yes.
Man, those were the best basketball shoes when I was
right. Yeah, everybody wanted to have some high tops.
They stuck to the floor like glue, man.
Yeah, they do.
I didn't even play sports, and I had to have my Converse.
Oh gosh, those were in the 70s. Those things were just.
I see now what you're saying, and I never noticed that before. The layers as you're pouring it, I didn't believe that they would. I thought they would more mix together, but they're actually you can see as you pour more, the green and stuff that was down at the bottom now is starting to come out.
Mm-hmm. And
Wait,
they'll as the oils change in the water, because the oil never really incorporates into the paint, so it floats up to the top and it changes the look of the paint.
Very neat. Very neat.
Pretty cool.
I'm not sure how it works on here, but if she was doing a flat surface, once she hit that torch over it, those cells start popping. That's amazing.
Do you ever do the, and I don't know what it's called, but I've seen it done before. Do you ever put the items in water and then put the latex on top, or the oil on top, I guess, or the paint on top, and then bring it out?
That's called hydro dipping, and I have not done that just simply because I feel like it's a big waste of spray paint.
And water.
I'm kind of with you on that.
It made for some pretty darn nice looking rims, though, man.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was just thinking the same thing, Al, that when they do that hydro dipping, you can actually take different cans of spray paint and make it float on water. And if you dip it right, it just comes out crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, she's doing the torch method now on the. I have that exact same little torch. I love that thing.
Oh my gosh, I have like 7 of them.
I got one
I
of them. I got
like
one
that
of
too,
them.
actually.
Yeah, I got one of them, and it is just fantastic.
My roommate cusses it because she doesn't fill it up before she starts.
I use it
Right,
whenever
right.
whenever I do a
The
whenever I have a laser, and whenever I do acrylic sheets, sometimes if the acrylic has some scratches on it, you can take that torch and heat the acrylic, and it'll take the scratches right out of it.
oh yeah. So the paint that's falling on that plastic that I have out, you let it dry and you can peel it right off that plastic, and you can make all kinds of fun stuff with that stuff. It's called an acrylic skin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I mean, I make jewelry, I make pendants, I make magnets, I make goodness, I actually cut it apart and make collages with my mixed media. I mean, it's so fun.
Back 4
Yeah,
years
that's-
ago, when I met Amanda, we did a collab about the skins and what all you can do with them, and
Yeah.
that was a really fun live we did.
Oh yeah, that was really
That is
fun.
really neat. Hey, Russ, can you maximize that YouTube window within the browser? The little square box?
Not once I don't think I can now. I might have
Okay.
been able to do it before.
All right, I didn't know if you could.
Let me
make
see
sure
if I can do it.
in the lower right hand corner, that little box. No, all
No,
the way down.
that's not where it's at.
Well, yeah, I didn't really mean to. Yeah,
There it
there.
goes.
Yeah. There you go. Well, guess not. Yeah, or is it?
Well, he'd have to click down now. It'll show up if you go down to the right-hand corner, but I don't know if he can do it once the video starts on his, because he's sharing.
No, it's there.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
It
that's
takes
a good
a few
idea.
seconds.
You don't waste any paint if you got the skin there to do things with.
Right.
Yeah, really.
And that's the number one thing that I get from people, the number one complaint. And I want to say, like, rude comment on my channel. You waste so much paint, and I'm like, but I don't really,
Yeah,
because
because
I use it in other forms later.
I wanted to skip forward so we could show. That is awesome. That looks
That is.
cool as crap.
That is.
Yeah, I've taken
Yeah, that
some
looks-
that Jackie's done and cast them into pen blanks.
Would
Yeah,
you
you
be able
can.
to take those skins and epoxy them on a tile if you want it?
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah,
That's what I
bet
thought.
you could.
Yeah.
Bet
have
you
to
could.
do. You can put some Floetrol down on the tile if it's rough enough, if you've sanded it a little bit, and
Mhm.
that acrylic will then adhere to the tile and the acrylic paint, because acrylic paint sticks to acrylic paint.
When I did
Yeah, that's
custom
pretty cool.
signs, I don't do a lot of them anymore, but when I started out, I would use all those tricks and I could add 20% on the sign just by using those tricks. Like to get alligator skin, I would wrinkle up saran wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And then to get other effects, I would use bubble wrap.
Very, very cool.
Very cool.
How flexible is that when you put it on a shoe like that?
So, when you first do it, it's still flexible. Now I can tell you that they've sat for so long without anybody wearing them or moving them that the acrylic paint has fully cured and they're kind of stiff. So they work better for me as like a paint pot. But when I first poured them, I did wear them one time as a Halloween costume when I was Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter.
Nice.
So, I love to make my costume. In fact, I made the costume I'm wearing right now. It's Sadness from Inside Out, and I make all my costumes, and I just love to make everything. I don't know. I guess Brenda understands what I'm saying when you say when I go into a place and I see something that I like, I look at it like for 10 minutes and I'm wondering, how do I do that? Where can I get this stuff? Um, oh, I probably have a little bit of that at home. I could put this and this and this together and make that. That's the way my brain thinks. So it's really fun when I'm pouring and then I see this something come out of the paint I can make a pendant out of or a hair barrette or I never really go out and buy those things.
How far are you from Dalton?
I want to say maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. If you type in Google, just go Dalton to Rockmart, they'll tell you exactly the time and the fastest way to get here. If this helps, a lot of people find this helpful. About 20 minutes out of Rome, west of Rome.
Tell us about your studio.
Oh, I'm so excited about my studio. So my gallery is in the front, and I can actually, if you don't mind a little shaky cam production, I'm here. I can take you out there and do a look at my art. Some of the artwork I'm making.
Ain't the first time a woman shook us.
Oh my God.
All right, let's do this. All right.
Now, this is the studio is where you hold the classes at, right?
Yes. So right
Yes.
now, my YouTube room, which is a hot mess because I do a lot of work in there, and then I'm also hosting a mixed media party this weekend in my art studio. So I have a lot of just random, like you guys don't understand what these are. Like these are vintage car covers.
Oh yeah.
So I have a whole box of those, and we're just gonna make a whole bunch of stuff. But I have a very large space. I have 2,500 square feet here.
Holy crap.
Let's see if I can get this camera to turn.
Now, do you lease the building?
I rent.
Rent, yeah.
But I get a really good price, and I love it. So I have. I'm going backwards because I can't get it to turn. So that's my art. And then up there is an oil painter named Tina Stoffel Adams. She is out of there we go. Now I'm straight. She is out of Woodstock. Down here is me. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And then artwork is actually does pet portraits out of chalk pastels.
Cool.
We're behind you.
Very nice.
As well.
Horsey.
Horsies. And then this is what I think Brenda could give me over this one because she understands the way I think. This is my media style. And let's see if I can get it to work. I have her wired to light up, which there we go.
It's alive! It's alive!
No, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
It is.
So
I like that.
more of my
Franken dress dummy.
this is my Lena artist. She is a photographer, and she has done an acid wash type for her photography on transferring.
Is that traditional photography or is it digital photography?
Traditional photography is a brush method, transfer the image on watercolor paper,
Ooh,
and it
very
burns
nice.
it.
Looks cool.
Yes.
We have media artist, and these are actually drum heads that her boyfriend uses and then gives her after they're done.
Nice.
Does she ever do any drum skins for people in the indoors? Not the skins, but the heads, like you're saying, the front parts of them, right? Does she ever do any custom ones? Yeah. That would.
What you
Yeah,
mean?
okay. Yeah. There you go. Yes, definitely. That's yeah.
Cool.
Very nice.
Got her little gargoyle up there. He's kind of cute. And then my two storm resistance. This it might be a little loud because of the car, but I built a storm cloud. So let's see if I can show you.
Storm cloud.
Oh, sure.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
Yes,
Yep.
that is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That is. Oh my goodness. Can you
Yeah, I
get
like that.
closer?
That is cool.
That is
Cute little
fabulous.
quiet town. And there I am.
Cool.
Great.
Hope she
Very
didn't lock
good.
herself out.
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, that's something I would do.
What a turn to the show that would be.
Yeah, somebody said you love paint so much you painted your hair blue.
I love blue. I love blue. Blue rocks.
Oh yeah, me too. Blue is my favorite color. Obviously,
Well, I have two favorite colors.
all of my students.
Okay, I just cannot get rid of either one of them. I love both of them, and one is red. I love red, and the other one is blue.
It's a
So I
little.
love red and blue. They're my favorite colors.
The sky is blue.
There's if you want to go over there and show us a picture of that gallon thing of flood so people can see that.
Yeah,
That's what we were talking about.
this is Flowtrol, but that was my studio. It's a little messy because I just got done with a session. Oh, and skins. Speaking of skins, this is an acrylic skin.
Yes. Cool.
So it just peels right off of the plastic, and you can cut holes in it and make pendants out of cabochons.
Yeah, I have one question for you. It's the same
Anyway, that's
question.
the stuff. Hold on a second. Now that's the
Okay,
stuff she's
all right.
talking about mixing with the paint.
Yes.
I typed in that real quick, and Walmart even sells it.
Yeah.
I sent Aussie Man the Australian link to that. So the question I have to ask is, when you showed that skin, I often ask this to Mom from Know What Mom Knows, who's another crafter. Is it edible? Can you eat that?
Oh, you hungry?
Yeah,
I'll go eat
delicious.
dinner. Jeez.
The paint you can eat, and
Yes.
it won't kill you.
Yeah.
But it ain't gonna make you happy.
Oh, man.
But when you were talking about curing, a good example when we were talking about and I have two skins here. Let me get back on my boom arm here. Hello. Okay. So this skin
Oh, that's
is very
neat.
flexible. It's from last week.
Almost looks like a reptile skin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And it feels like a raincoat. Right?
Yeah.
This skin is, you see how it doesn't move? This skin is from 6 months ago,
It's dead,
Right.
Jim.
and it's crispy.
Right.
So
It
could you get
loses-
this?
it
Could you get the
starts to
same
lose its
results with
elasticity.
mix? Could you get the same results if you mix different latexes so it's more flexible for, like on shoes, or wouldn't it work the same? You know how when you're throwing a can of paint, what's left over, you're supposed to put it out on a sheet of paper and let it dry. It's real flexible, so you could probably mix a lot of different colored latexes and get the same
Yes.
results and put it
That
on a
makes
shoe.
sense. Makes
Because-
sense.
When it's
It's essentially a runny latex.
Okay.
when it's dry and hard like that, can you soften it up by soaking it in water, like resin?
No, not once it's dry.
See?
Hey, Amanda, in the other one you had circles in it. I'm just curious, what became of those? Yes, what became of those circles?
Jewelry.
Jewelry.
Well, honestly, that is what I assumed, guys or ladies, but I was wondering if you had some around that you could show us.
Look.
That was a, what do they call it, a segue?
Yeah, Al
Yes.
is Mr. Segway on our.
Yeah, he was
our
playing
show here.
Segway.
I was practicing those.
Here's one.
The funny thing is,
Yeah, there you go.
already
Brenda's
wrapped.
got one. Here, hold it. Keep it up there for a second.
That's actually one.
Brenda and I'll give. Yeah, see that one?
Mm-hmm.
Can you back it away from the camera just a little bit, Brenda? There you go. Yeah, that's pretty.
That is.
Now, when I used to make decals, is that same thing? Is that the same thing as like doming? What they call doming? I would take a decal and put it. I would CNC whatever the shape of the decal is, and I'd put the decal down in there, and then I would dome it by putting epoxy in there. Is that the same type of thing?
Can, but it's hard to push down. You can, but it's harder to control in that little bitty cabochon. So you can buy.
Oh, you already bought the dome.
So
Yes.
you glue it all together.
Oh,
Cheekers,
neat.
I've been doing it the hard way.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of
Imagine
times,
that.
a lot of times I'll get, if you get a company's name, I would put that in there and then dome it. So, you know, I would always need special shapes, not just
Now,
round.
Well,
question.
they make all different sizes and shapes of them. So.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, question real quick. Does the dome snap on to that round thing, or do you have to glue it?
You have to glue it, and I like. What? There we go. Diamond glaze.
Diamond
Okay.
glaze.
Mm-hmm. It really dries really, really clear, a lot like resin.
You ever use any Aleene's tacky glue?
Yes.
Yeah, I use it all.
Like this. Like
Yes,
this.
I love that stuff.
I
Okay,
love
what's
it,
the advantage of that?
but the Aleene's tacky glue is it dries cloudy.
Mhm.
And when you have something that's super clear like this, you want it to stay super clear. This is
Right.
the way to go.
Now hold that up again. What is that? No,
This,
the glue.
oh, the glue. This one is
Diamond glaze.
Diamond glaze. Okay. Actually, I've never heard of that.
it's not very expensive either.
They sell it at any craft store. Michael's,
Cool.
Hobby Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
Big box hobby store.
I never heard of that. I know that Aleene's tacky glue, that's one of the only glues that I've ever seen that would actually, you can glue painted surfaces together and they'll actually stay stuck, in other words.
If you guys are interested in my resin work and you were talking about tiles,
Neat. I've seen tiles like that before, similar. Yes.
Yep. Brenda's, them are cool.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
that's pretty.
all resin.
And that's just latex. No, that is resin.
That's
it's
resin.
resin.
It
It's
is resin.
out and then resin, and then I do a felt on the back,
Okay.
and it becomes.
Nice.
Very nice. Yes.
So, and then I also do MDF wood into I do pours on them, and then I resin them, and
And then you what? You cut out.
I resin, and then I make these coasters as well.
Make those into coasters as well. Okay, gotcha.
They're just MDF coasters.
Yeah, it's a good way to get rid of your scrap MDF wood. Cut them in circles or whatever, in squares, and
Yeah, it is. I never thought about that.
Oh
Very
yeah,
nice. Very nice.
I do all kinds of things on MDF circles. This is one of my favorites that I've done recently.
Oh, wow.
Sweet. Looks like one of the moons of Jupiter. Ganymede.
Ugh.
Oh,
Nice.
in fact, that one does too. Now that I'm looking at that one, that even looks like it's got crater marks.
Yeah.
And it stays perfectly flat, warpage, even with all that on there.
Yeah, you could put 3 little legs on that and make a little stool out of it.
did you ever, Amanda, did you ever try the droplet technique? Like I had a special sign I had to make where I would take a spray bottle, spray the water, and then I'd take an aerosol colored paint and you spray it like so it would what do you call it, overcoat it, or you'd get the dryness, and then you let it dry, and then your end results looks just like you got a bunch of bubbles.
Mhm.
Raindrops, I should say, raindrops on the whole piece.
It's so cool. I did that, but you could also do bubbles from your dishwashing liquid and blow bubbles and then let it cure with
Oh,
the bubble.
okay, I never tried that. Yep.
And it gives it's like a honeycomb effect.
Oh yeah, I wonder what foaming bubbles would do from the bathtub cleaning section.
After it dries, the droplets look so
Yeah.
real, like somebody custom airbrushed it. And as all I did was take a spray bottle and make big droplets land on the piece, and then I backed way up with the air spray can, and you spray it. It mist on top of it, then it dries, and it just looks like custom
I
droplet
sense a
raindrops.
lot of ER visits from this panel.
Leonard Davis said, if I 3D print a dinosaur, she can skin it for you.
What? I dropped you.
Oh,
I mean, I'm just seeing that owl now. What happens if I spray this kerosene up here?
Oh no.
She said something about a torch.
sometimes experimenting is the way to do it, but other times you have to use a little common sense. Don't try this at home, kids.
Well, that's why I mentioned you about common sense.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You're very generous.
We have Midnight Scroller over there on Facebook, and we are monitoring Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube at the same time. So,
hello, Midnight
Scroller, glad you joined us over there on Facebook.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome to the
that's pretty interesting. I mean, I have heard of people using acrylic paint and pouring it before, but I never actually saw it done, and so that's
roommate
cool.
actually does something with Elmer's glue and the paint when she pours. What's that about?
She's basically making Floetrol, but it's not going to be light fast.
That was going to be one of my questions. If you could get by with a big gallon of Elmer's glue, I didn't know. I never tried it.
So the Elmer's glue is basically craft glue, and it's basically there just not to break the polymers apart, but you want every it to be what we call light fast.
Mm-hmm.
Light fast means if I take this paint and I hang it in a sunny window, this needs to stay as bright and vibrant today as it will be 10 years from now.
So UV resistant then. Ultraviolet light resistant.
Well, just light in general, even harsh light like the fluorescents that are in buildings. I actually changed all my lights in this studio to LED because they're less harsh than fluorescents.
It's a different wavelength of light, yes.
Yep, are they T8s? Like a T8 bulb?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any kind of harsh light is bad for the paint. And so when I sell a painting to someone, they need to know that their painting is going to hang on their wall and look pretty for at least 10 years.
That is neat.
I got a question for you, because I know you can do that on some of the other stuff. Have you ever thought about, or have you ever experimented with spraying something over the top of the paint that is UV? Do you do that, or have you done that?
I do actually. I everything that I use is UV. So I use high quality art paint. Most of the time, Liquitex. And then I do the Floetrol because
Yeah.
Homie ain't made of money.
No, but I'm talking about like a clear coat that you can put over the top.
And then the very last ingredient after everything's cleaned and varnished, I either use a UV non-toxic art, or I use a UV Krylon varnish, spray varnish. Okay,
spray varnish.
And it is available. I get it at Hobby Lobby, and I use my coupon. Hobby Lobby quit doing the instant 40% off coupon. So eye out for when those things are on sale and stock up.
Hey, I just had a thought. You could change your light bulbs to LEDs, and then the paints would never change.
Yeah.
I actually do black light pours as well, and I have a black light station set up. And I do or when it's done, it really looks like a storm cloud. It's really cool.
Sure, with the black light. Yep, that would
Mhm.
look neat.
Yeah.
Al, did you see what James Parker posted?
No, I
He
was
said-
actually.
He said PM him on Facebook with your address. He has 2 more Star Trek books for you.
Ooh, sweet. Thank you, Jimbo. I certainly will. Thank you very much. And live long and prosper.
Prosper long and live.
All right.
So that's the fun thing about it. And acrylic pouring doesn't have to be just dumping paint on the canvas. You can put paint on the canvas strategically. You can put paint on shoes and skulls and vases and pumpkins and anything you want to paint. And I think that's the freedom that I love about it.
And there's so many articles you could use right in your house. You know, like that one where you did the basket thing, and I mean, it's unlimited.
The basket, blow through straws and move the paint after I move the paint. I like to use a blow dryer, for your hair.
Yep.
Right.
I also use a heat gun. I actually have it right here because you always need a heat gun. So I use all kinds of different techniques, and it's just fabulous.
The blow gun works real well when you want to make those ocean waves with the blues and the whites.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a thing the other day, and they were taking the same canvas painting things like you use, and what they were doing was they were using spray paint, and they were spray painting different layers of spray paint so the coats were kind of thin, and then they would put it on the laser and use different settings and actually burn some of the paint off and make.
That's cool.
Yeah, it looks really good. A guy did one with a skull, and it was just like, wow, it looked almost 3-dimensional.
Like the adult version of that scratch art thing you used to play with as a kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
They're using that on lasers
you use
now,
different settings. Like, I guess you would have to experiment to know which settings to use, but he used different powers, in other words, to burn off the different layers. So you can have you could actually put 4 colors on and so the thing would have 4 different colors in it. So that was pretty neat. I'm going to have to try that. Matter of fact, we were at Hobby Lobby last week, and I bought like 3 or 4 canvases to try it. So
do the Hulk Hogan one. I did the Hulk Hogan one where it was all fluorescent green on the bottom, and then I put the black on, and then I lasered it. You want to see it really turns out nice. So you just burn that top layer.
I'd never
that's
seen
shadowing.
That before. Yeah, I hadn't seen that before. I stumbled across I'm in several laser groups, and I stumbled across onto that. Real quick, it's almost 9 o'clock, so we're going to get ready to wind down. I was going to show this real quick. I made this on the laser.
I'm not looking at it. Wait, let me see. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Then we have to get Amanda's shop confession, where she really got hurt doing something dumb.
It's kind of small for you to ride, ain't it?
That is really neat.
That is beautiful.
That is. I love it.
Yeah, I think it doesn't do it a long period of time. You have to keep bumping it, but it's pretty cool that it's balanced well enough that it'll rock back and forth like that.
And now you got to do a giant one for your yard.
Now you gotta sneak a curved slide on the other side, glue it, and put a ball bearing in there. So when it goes to one side, it'll just keep going and never stop.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
That's really neat. That reminded me of what I 3D printed, which was kind of.
All right, Al, blow Al up. I got to see that now. I might have to try that. Did you do the bottom yet?
No, I didn't. I just did the top. I was going to use it to put onto a cabinet, and I never ended up using it. But that's funny when you showed that. I went, oh wow.
Yeah, those reins. I would have to take those reins and make them at least 3 millimeters so they don't break when you pick it up.
Yeah. Well, this one actually has one that connects both of them together, right there. I had to print like this because it was just on the Ender 3, which has got a smaller plate. But I thought that was good. But the point of this is you can make stuff, on the laser like Russ did. On the 3D printer, you can CNC this stuff. You can scroll saw it. You can acrylic it. You can do all sorts of stuff. You just have to, I guess, imagine it.
Yeah, but I got news for you. This would have took me, especially as intricate it is, and this is made out of 1/8" plywood too. So it would have took me probably about 2 or 3 hours because you have to be very careful scroll sawing this. And my laser did this in 6 minutes.
But Russ, the eternal question exists: is it really woodworking?
I don't give a flying flip whether you want to call it woodworking or not.
My question is, Russ, you're retired. You ain't got nothing else to do.
Oh, well.
Hey, Russ also wanted to know where you got the pattern at.
I found it. Trying to think. I go in several groups. It was in some laser group. I found it in some laser group. I have to remember it because I'm constantly going through doing different groups looking for stuff that's a little unique, and I thought that was unique. You know how you catch a rabbit? You sneak up on him.
Unique up on him.
So Donald, if you want to mix your woodworking with her pouring, you just print off a couple of those and glue them to a canvas and tell her to pour on them.
There you go.
There you go.
There you
They
go.
all work
Donald.
together. There's all disadvantages, advantages. The laser gets it done fast, but the 3D printer, you can walk away and come back 2 to 4 hours later, and it's all done for you.
Just press a button. Just press
It
a
all
button.
works.
Right? Just press a button.
Just like lasering. Yep, you just press a button. You look at it, press a button. It's that simple.
Is everybody ready for Halloween tomorrow night, by the way? I know we had our family Halloween trunk or treat party, so to speak, at my daughter's where they have property out there. They have a lot of almost 150, 200 acres out there. But anyway, and it turned out really nice. We gave all the candy away, and so my wife just informed me this morning. She goes, "Oh, but by the way, we need to go get some more candy. We don't have anything to give away for tomorrow night." So,
did you eat all the candy that you bought?
Huh?
Did you eat all the candy that you bought? Like we did at our house, we bought a bunch of
We
candy.
didn't eat it. We gave it to all the kids. We gave away all the candy, but I thought we were supposed to save. I thought we were supposed to save some to bring home for Halloween, but we ended up giving it all away. So now we got to go buy more.
We never get any trick or treaters, but I always go buy candy just in case.
Yeah,
Russ
That's my
posted a
boy.
picture of them sitting on the steps, and Russ is there by the door in a big orange shirt. I'm like,
yep.
Dag, they got a Santa Claus playing jack-o'-lantern.
I was, if you notice, I had my wizard hat on. I was the pumpkin wizard, by the way.
Well, it looked very good, by the way. Very.
You
Yeah,
like me, you got the right shape.
That was a stylish pumpkin thing.
Very wizardly.
Yes.
I just send the grandkids home with a can of Mountain Dew, and they're good for a month.
I give them condensed milk in a can. I send them home with a condensed milk.
James Parker saying,
I got a bunch of them little baggies from the Penn kids.
No, wait a second. You can't. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm gonna stuff some sawdust in there and give them out.
There you go.
Yeah.
James Parker said he's going to bed. So good night, James. Yeah, we Amanda, we do what we call woodshop confessions, but yours would be art shop confessions. But and it's blood or cuts or bruises or broken arms or legs, it's usually better because it sounds good. But have you ever done anything in your artwork and stuff or whatever some of the stuff that you're doing that after you did it, you went like, why the heck did I do that?
Well, if you go back a little while on my YouTube channel, you'll see me painting in a Chewbacca onesie because I did stuff like that. I still do stuff like that.
Chewbacca onesie.
Yes, I'm sorry to the Trekkie on the panel, but I am a Star Wars fan.
It's all good. That's all I gotta say.
Someone has to be.
May the force be with you.
Hey, I watched all the Star Wars.
But I mean, but you don't have anything to tell, like you set your hair on fire with your torch one day or anything like that.
If you go back and watch the Chewbacca video, I think it's called My First Commission or something. You'll see where I'm pouring on a very large canvas, and I actually drop all of the paint, and it goes straight down the canvas. The person that commissioned it for me gave me the canvas to paint, so I only that one, and it turned out at the very end after I did it, I was like, well, let's just go with the flow and see what the heck happens, and it turned out that was what she wanted, and she loved it.
It's art. What are you gonna do?
Yep.
I have burned myself with the torch quite a few times. You know, you pick it up on the wrong side.
Oh.
This
Oh yeah.
is the culprit though.
Yes.
Because it touched my arm.
Oh yeah.
Using. Oh no.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a nice little boo boo on my finger right there. The skin actually grew back. We were making we took the cardboard out of the center of the roll of toilet paper. We saved them, and you take the hot glue and you put it around the top of them and let it run down. It looks like a candle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had done that, and I set it on the table, but it wanted to fall over. So I reached for the thing to grab it. Well, I knew to reach to the bottom because the top had hot glue. Well, on the back side, the glue went all the way down, and I just stuck my finger right into the hot glue.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad.
Oh, yeah, because you can't peel it off, because if you do, you just pull all the skin and everything right off. I just ran to the kitchen and stuck my finger in the water, but it's just now healing up. That's all brand new skin right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the worst thing that I've ever done, so I don't know if Brenda told you, but my 9-to-5 job, I'm a children's hairstylist, and I do special needs haircuts. And the worst thing that I've ever done, I've been doing that for 14 years now, is I have cut this knuckle off 4 times.
Ow!
Every time the kids get so upset and they move like that, and when they bump your hand and you just take it off. I mean, I had the actual knuckle off of my scissors and just took it in the back, threw it away, and ran cold water on it. Gotta go to the doctor, guys.
Yeah, cold water.
Ow. And you've done that 4 times?
4 times, but I can get a haircut done in 8.
I would have thought after the first you would have learned better, but
well, children's hair is actually a little different than adult hair. Children's hair, you're not supposed to point the shears at yourself by rule of say board, but I can break the rules and I point them at myself because my thinking is I can handle a boo boo, they can't.
Right. No, I understand.
Special needs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sharp.
Yeah.
But that's
craft.
And I do call it my craft because it's kind of like sculpting. So it's part of my art repertoire. The blue. But
well, I think we'll have to have you back on sometime and go over some more of this stuff. But thank you for being on tonight. Really great.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for the advice.
I learned a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh, Aussie Man wants to know how many ears are missing. How many kids' ears have you cut off?
I've 4 years, and I can honestly say I have never even picked an ear.
That's good.
Not wood.
Not.
That kid's in the future, though.
You still have time, Amanda.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Still have time.
Yep. So, all right, great. Anybody? Before we close out, anybody in the chat have any more questions, real quick, before we close out? Oh, and by the way, I bless you that you do not cut your. I always do that. I bless you that you do not cut your knuckle off anymore.
That doesn't cover the other 9.
Yeah.
You will become.
Or better yet, like this.
All right. Anybody else got any questions?
This is not the knuckle you're looking for.
Yeah, this is not the knuckle you're looking for.
In my case, this is not a knucklehead you're looking for.
You can find her over on YouTube, and it's Chroma Storm Arts. I don't know why I keep on saying Storm Arts. And I think Brenda has posted a couple of times in the chat section her link. And if I can remember tomorrow, I'll put the link to her channel in the description of this video if I can remember it tomorrow. The bad thing about it is remembering it.
I can say though, I will leave this. Brenda makes the best goat's milk soap.
Yes.
Yeah.
It tastes delicious.
And it is fantastic.
It is fantastic, but it is also the best for getting acrylic paint off of your hand.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
It peels the paint off really well. I don't know if it's like the enzymes in the milk or what, but it peels the paint off and it moisturizes at the same time.
And it smells pretty too, don't it?
I got the honey. I'm getting the honeysuckle one this week.
Mm.
Back in stock.
The honeysuckle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Thank y'all all for being out there. Aussie Man, Leonard Davis, Dan Ingy.
I think Aussie Man wants to know how much you charge for your work. Maybe you guys can get together and discuss that at some point.
So if you look on Facebook, always at Chroma Storm Arts, and you're more than welcome to PM anytime. I manage it all from my phone, so I have it in my pocket.
Sorry.
Dan Ingy, bah humbug. He's a Grinch. He says, I sold all of our Halloween decorations. He turns out his lights. He's just a grumpy old man. And I'll not repeat what he tried to put at the end, but he said he's just a grumpy old man.
Get off the line!
I'm with you there.
But anyway, Leonard Davis, I think James Parker was out there, Carl Gantry, Midnight Scroller, just running back real through. I know if I miss your name, I'm sorry. Russ Meadows was out there.
Lady Frenzy Wicked Truth was out there
Lady Frenzy Wicked Truth was out there watching us.
Yep.
So thank y'all all for being out there. Jeff Walsma.
Restream Bot is there again?
Yeah.
Restream Bot.
He just keeps coming back.
He keeps coming back every week. I don't know who he is.
Yeah. So, but thank y'all all for being out there in the chat. I really do appreciate it. And then thank you, Brenda and Chris and Donald and Paul and Dixon and Al and Jane. I wanted to say Jason didn't kill himself. And Jim.
Jason. That's drive-by, don't you know? That's drive-by.
Yeah. And once again, thank you, Amanda, for being on. Really cool.
Thank you.
We learned a lot. Yeah. Learned a whole lot. And go there and watch her videos. Give her a thumbs up. Also, I'm sure she would appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, we're getting ready to close out. Listen, if you're too darn busy to get out in your shop and make some tall dust, you're just too darn busy. Good night, everybody. Just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching, and God bless.
Good night, y'all.
Live
You
long
don't have
and
to go home, but you can stay here.
What?
Nope,
What he
you gotta
said.
go.
What he said.
We'll put Russell's address in the comments.
Big announcement too before you hang up, Russ.
There it is.
Colin Connect of the famous Colin Connect YouTube channel just said he'll be on November 6th with us.
Oh, cool.
So
Cool.
Colin's a big guy in the woodworking.
Good. That'll be
group.
fantastic.
So I just looked at my email and he just emailed me back. So
Okay, great.
looking
great.
forward to that for next week.